Claressa, you're all on my mind. Oh, Rissa, you're one of a kind. Oh, Rissa, you're better ones that married man, girl, because he's playing you, Rissa. He's intensely dead. Oh, Rissa, you don't know what you get. Oh, let me be quiet.
The internet didn't just react, it convulsed. One live stream, one voice. And suddenly a relationship millions thought they understood cracked open like a fault line under pressure. Tasha K hit go live, and within seconds, timelines froze, comments flooded, and names that once symbolized strength and loyalty were dragged into a storm of suspicion. Claressa Shields, the undefeated champion, the symbol of discipline and dominance, was no longer just being praised. She was being re-examined. And Papoose, the supportive figure, the steady presence. His name started trending for all the wrong reasons, according to explosive new claims. What the public saw was only a polished highlight reel. Behind the smiles, behind the interviews, behind the viral moments, something allegedly darker was brewing. Leaked messages began circulating. Audio whispers surfaced. Insiders claimed the relationship wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Support blurred into pressure. Love allegedly twisted into leverage. And as fans replayed old clips with fresh eyes, moments that once felt harmless suddenly looked staged, tense, even rehearsed. The scariest part? Claressa's silence. No denial, no clarification, just quiet. And in the digital world, silence screams louder than words. Twitter erupted into civil war. TikTok detectives broke down body language frame by frame. Instagram flooded with cryptic posts about control, boundaries, and choosing yourself. Everyone had a theory, but no one had the full truth.
I want you to meet. His name's Papoose. You said his name is what? Pap what? Pap Smith? What you bringing in my house named Pap Smith for? Who is this? James, who is this? She got a nigga up in the house named Pap Smith. Is you a woman? What he doing? You already know. I don't want nothing. He ain't. Well, you ain't met him. I don't need to meet him. I can smell that he ain't shit. That's how I am, y'all. That's really how I am. I see something that you can't see. Can't never win no number. I win by the $100, but I know the nigga when I see one, I can smell it. He don't mean no good, Rissa. He don't mean no good.
Full truth. Because this isn't just about a relationship. It's about power, image, control. And what happens when the strongest woman in the room may have been fighting a battle no one could see. And if these claims are even halfway true, this story is about to get much darker. What started as whispers quickly mutated into something far more dangerous. Because once Tasha K pressed that live button, the illusion surrounding Claressa Shields and Papoose didn't just crack, it splintered. According to claims shared during the broadcast, the relationship the public thought they understood was never operating on simple emotions. It was allegedly a carefully balanced exchange of visibility, protection, and unspoken expectations. Insiders claimed that from the outside it looked like mutual respect, but behind the scenes the energy felt transactional. Wins weren't just wins. Appearances weren't just appearances. Everything allegedly carried weight. Claressa's rise wasn't just celebrated, it was managed. And as her name grew louder, so did the pressure to move a certain way, speak a certain way, and stay aligned with a narrative that benefited more than just her. Fans immediately
in the mall, at the Louis Vuitton store, and you bought the Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and then you had to give him the Louis Vuitton box that you bought to give to you as if he bought it for you, and you forgot that you put the receipt online showing that you bought a duffel bag, a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and it's like, did she just give him the gift to give to her to act like the things that we're telling her that he ain't got no money? He
immediately began pulling old clips, resurfacing interviews where Claressa paused before answering simple questions. Moments once dismissed as media fatigue now reframed as hesitation. According to online speculation, those pauses were loaded. Meanwhile, alleged leaked messages circulated claiming disagreements weren't about love, but about timing, optics, and loyalty to an image larger than the relationship itself. One message that went viral read, "You can't shake the table right now." The internet latched onto that phrase like a warning label. Was it guidance or was it control? As reactions exploded, another layer emerged. Tasha K claimed insiders described emotional pushback whenever Claressa attempted to assert independence outside the shared narrative. Training decisions questioned. Appearances scrutinized. Even silence allegedly interpreted as defiance. Fans began debating whether support had crossed into surveillance. Alleged voice notes surfaced, low quality and unverified, but emotionally charged. A male voice supposedly warned that sudden changes would confuse people and raise questions.
We spent time together on Christmas. I got pictures of them together. I ain't even dropped those yet. The daughter ain't nowhere near around. But you got $8 million. I got $8 million. I got $8 million. No, you don't. I already got people running the background docs on Win Records on Papoose's position. It's only a matter of time before I drop that. I got PI.
That wording alone ignited chaos. Who were people? Why was confusion a threat? TikTok analysts broke down the audio syllable by syllable, while others called it manufactured nonsense. Still, the damage lingered. Claressa's online presence shifted. Less engagement. More distance. Supporters noticed she stopped posting candid moments, replacing them with controlled, neutral content. According to claims, this wasn't accidental. It was self-preservation. Meanwhile, Papoose defenders fired back, accusing blogs of twisting context and exploiting a private dynamic for clicks. Old interviews were reposted showing praise, encouragement, partnership. The internet split into camps, each convinced they saw the truth. But then Tasha K dropped another claim that shifted the entire tone. She alleged a private confrontation had already occurred. One that didn't end quietly, according to insiders. The confrontation wasn't explosive in volume, but devastating in content. Allegedly,
a man that's sleeping with more women than you. And I don't wish that on you. But pap smear, he gonna cause you to get a series of pap smears with the rotational women that he's messing with.
Claressa questioned whether her autonomy had slowly been replaced by obligation, whether choices were hers or merely approved. One alleged witness claimed the room went silent after Claressa asked a single question. If I walk away from this image, what happens? That question alone set social media on fire. Commentators speculated that walking away didn't just mean ending a relationship. It meant dismantling a shared brand. And brands don't dissolve without consequences. Alleged texts suggested Claressa felt boxed in by expectations she never publicly agreed to. Meanwhile, cryptic posts began appearing from adjacent celebrity circles. Quotes about reclaiming power. Stories about choosing peace over proximity. Nothing direct, but the timing felt deliberate. Fans read between every line. And then, just as outrage peaked, Claressa unfollowed several accounts tied to the narrative. No announcement, no explanation. Just a digital door quietly closing. Blogs ran headlines within minutes. Silence was no longer absence. It was a statement. According to Tasha K's claims, it wasn't about one argument or one misunderstanding. It was about a slow realization that the relationship operated under rules Claressa didn't write. Allegedly, her championship aura became a shield not just for herself, but for stability around her. Appearances alongside her carried weight. Her success softened scrutiny. And as her influence grew, so did the expectation to remain aligned. Fans began questioning whether Claressa had been protecting more than her own peace. Old red carpet footage resurfaced showing subtle tension, forced smiles, rigid posture. Comment sections filled with comments like, "We missed the signs," and "She looked tired even when she was winning." Meanwhile, alleged insiders claimed Claressa had begun planning her next moves quietly, consulting with people outside the usual circle. Strategic distance, not dramatic exit. The idea that she was preparing to reclaim her narrative sent shockwaves through fan communities. Would she speak? Would she expose? Or would she simply disappear from the noise? As speculation intensified, Papoose supporters pushed back harder, accusing media personalities of manufacturing drama around a strong woman who didn't need saving. They argued Claressa was in control the entire time, that ambition doesn't equal manipulation. The debate turned vicious. Comment sections became battlegrounds. Lives were hosted, threads exploded. Everyone claimed insight. Nobody had confirmation. Tasha K doubled down, insisting more information existed, more context waiting to surface. She hinted at receipts she hadn't released, conversations she hadn't played. The implication alone kept the story alive. Claressa's camp remained silent, fueling theories that ranged from strategic patience to legal caution. Meanwhile, subtle changes continued. Training footage without familiar voices. Events attended solo. Energy focused inward. Fans interpreted every move as preparation for separation, not just from a person, but from a storyline imposed on her. The most chilling element wasn't the alleged messages or audio. It was the idea that Claressa's strength had been mistaken for compliance. According to online discourse, being powerful doesn't mean being immune to pressure. Being disciplined doesn't mean being unmanipulated. And as that realization spread, the narrative shifted. This stopped being about celebrity gossip and started feeling like a warning. A reminder that control doesn't always look aggressive. Sometimes it looks supportive. Sometimes it sounds like concern. Sometimes it hides behind advice. And if these claims hold any weight, Claressa's silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Because speaking too soon would allow others to frame the truth for her. As the dust continues to swirl, one thing is clear. This story hasn't reached its peak. The relationship at the center of it may survive, transform, or dissolve entirely, but the perception has already changed. Fans are watching differently now, listening differently, questioning everything. And somewhere behind the screens, Claressa Shields is allegedly preparing for a fight that has nothing to do with a ring. A fight for authorship, for clarity, for control. And when that moment arrives, when she finally chooses to speak or chooses to walk away without explanation, the internet will either crown her silence as wisdom or twist it into speculation. Either way, the narrative will explode again. Because stories built on image always collapse the loudest when the person at the center decides they're done, performing like so closely. Because this moment matters more than you think. Stories like this don't pause, they move, and the people who stay silent end up watching the truth get rewritten without them. Right now, you're witnessing a narrative unfold in real time. Not polished interviews, not rehearsed statements, but raw speculation, power dynamics, and the internet doing what it does best, deciding guilt, innocence, and motive before the full picture ever appears. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this story hit a nerve. Maybe it made you question what we're shown versus what's hidden. Maybe it reminded you how fast admiration can turn into scrutiny. Or maybe you felt that quiet tension that comes when a strong voice chooses silence while the world talks for her. But here's the reality. The next move will change everything. One statement, one unfollow, one interview, one leak. And if you're not locked in when that happens, you'll be catching up to a story that already ran past you. That's why you need to hit like right now, not later. It tells the algorithm this conversation matters. Drop your comment because your voice becomes part of the record the internet can't ignore. And subscribe because when this situation escalates, and it will, you don't want clipped summaries or twisted takes. You want the full breakdown, the context, and the receipts as they surface. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's about power, control, and who gets to tell the story. Stay connected, stay ahead, and don't let the loudest voices decide the truth without you.